If you're struggling with getting rejected by women, it's important to take a step back and evaluate your behaviors. There are certain things that men should avoid doing when interacting with women, as they can come across as disrespectful, rude, or off-putting. To improve your chances of success with women, it's helpful to become aware of these behaviors and make an effort to avoid them. Here are some tips that men should never do when interacting with women. A confident man doesn't chase. He attracts through authenticity and self-assuredness. A man who exudes confidence doesn't feel the need to constantly pursue others. Instead, he attracts people towards him through his authenticity, self-assuredness, and natural charisma. He is comfortable in his own skin and radiates a sense of calm and security that draws others towards him. This kind of man is not only attractive, but also inspires trust, respect, and admiration in those around him. Seeking attention through begging diminishes your value. Let your actions and character speak for themselves. When someone tries to get attention by begging for it, it can be harmful to their self-esteem and how others perceive them. Begging for attention can make them seem desperate and needy, and it might cause others to see them as less capable or confident. It's important to build self-confidence and rely on their own abilities to get attention instead of begging for it. This can help them have a positive self-image and develop better relationships with others. A man secure in himself seeks his own approval, recognizing that external validation is fleeting. People who have a strong sense of self-worth don't need others to constantly reassure them. They know that relying on others for validation can be unreliable and short-lived. Instead, they find value in themselves by recognizing their own strengths and achievements. This allows them to live confidently without constantly seeking approval from others. They understand that their worth comes from within and that constantly seeking validation from others might lead to feelings of neediness and insecurity. By finding value in themselves, they can be self-sufficient and live a more fulfilling life. True connection flourishes in freedom. Avoid the trap of suffocating possessiveness. Building a strong and meaningful relationship with someone requires giving each other the space to be themselves. It's important to avoid being too possessive, as it can harm the growth of the relationship. A true connection flourishes when both individuals can express themselves freely, pursue their interests, and maintain their own sense of independence while also nurturing a sense of togetherness. Therefore, it's important to find a balance between being close and having the freedom to ensure that the bond you share remains healthy and fulfilling. Respect is the cornerstone of meaningful connections. Don't settle for anything less. The foundation of any good relationship, whether it's personal or professional, is based on respect. It's an important quality that sets the tone for how we treat others and is essential to build trust, understanding, and good communication. No matter how big or small our interactions are, we should always try to treat others with respect and expect the same in return. It's important to keep in mind that respect goes both ways, and we should never settle for anything less than a healthy and respectful relationship with those around us. Authenticity is magnetic. Overcompensation can repel genuine connections. The idea of authenticity is really interesting. Basically, if you're true to yourself, people will be drawn to you like a magnet. But if you try to be someone you're not, it's a turn-off. People can tell when you're not being genuine, and they won't be able to connect with you on a personal level. That's why it's important to always be yourself and not pretend to be someone else. If you do, you won't be able to make real connections with people. Avoid seeking validation through possessions. It's important to have a healthy relationship with the things we own and not rely on them to feel good about ourselves. Sometimes people think that having nice things like a fancy car, a big house, or expensive clothes means they are successful and important. But this way of thinking can be harmful because it makes us always want more things. Instead, it's better to focus on growing as a person, having good relationships with others, and having new experiences. This will help us feel good about ourselves for who we are, not just what we have. The things we own are not as important as the kind of person we are and how we treat others. When we focus on things that really matter, we can be happy and fulfilled without worrying about always having the latest and greatest stuff. Don't overlook personal boundaries. In any relationship, whether with friends, family, or co-workers, it's important to respect each other's boundaries. Personal boundaries are like an invisible line that we draw around ourselves to define what we feel comfortable with and what we don't. Communicating these boundaries properly is important so that others can understand and respect them. When we don't set boundaries, or when they are ignored, it can make us feel uncomfortable, upset, or even hurt. Therefore, it's important to be mindful of our boundaries and make sure that others respect them so that we can maintain healthy and positive relationships. Avoid relying solely on external validation. It's important to keep in mind that relying too much on what others think of us can be harmful to our well-being. When we seek validation from others too much, we may start feeling like we need their approval all the time. This can limit our ability to trust ourselves and make decisions based on what we truly think is right. While it's natural to want to be accepted by others, it's also important to believe in ourselves and trust our own abilities. This will help us feel more confident and strong, even when people criticize or judge us. Did you enjoy the video? If yes, then don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons to show your love and support. We promise to bring you more such amazing advice. Stay tuned!